Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday, so you know we're here with the Tech Divas with Tech Life Weekly. And we're going to start this off with my co host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's going to be bringing us This Week in Tech. And I'm Carolina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. Hey, Fran, what's going on, girl?
Hey, welcome everybody to this edition of Tech Life Weekly. Thank you for watching live, on the replay, all around the world, from wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. And hit the subscribe button if you are on YouTube. Periscope, you also can follow. And those of you here on Facebook as well, we invite you to share this with a friend. All right, so this week in tech history, I'm going to start, and we get this from This Day in Tech History by Marcel Brown. I'm a history buff, I like tech, so I'm living in the best of both worlds. So y'all will just have to bear with me. I'm just like that. I like technology and I like history. January 28th, 1998, Radio Shack partners exclusively with Compaq rather than IBM to sell PCs throughout their 7,000 stores. 6 years later, IBM sold its PC division to the Chinese company Lenovo. Compaq was the exclusive PC sold in Radio Shack stores for many years. Okay. So we no longer have Radio Shack?
Well, we love them, though. We love them. They were a good start. I guess they just didn't make the shift, huh?
Well, I think they made the shift, but who did they partner with the shift?
Compaq.
Okay.
Chose the wrong partner.
Choose your associations wisely. January 29th, 1886, Carl Benz patents the first successful gasoline-driven automobile. He would eventually go on to found the Mercedes-Benz Company. The first successful gasoline-driven. I need to look at, because we think in Ford we think of Ford, but was that gas powered? Because I know Ford in one of my history classes, he started electric. But anyway, I need to go check some history. Phobos 2 orbits Mars, January 29th, 1989. The USSR's Phobos 2 enters Martian orbit on its way to the moon, Phobos. The spacecraft never completed its mission as it lost contact with mission control on March 27th. Due to some unusual last photos received from Phobos 2, speculation arose that it was destroyed by a UFO. Official reports blame the failure on the onboard computer. I wonder if mission control was trying to secure the Martian licensing's right to Tetris. This is Marcel's little comment on the bottom. Okay, again, people, we don't belong on Mars, but okay.
Wow.
January 29th, 1988, Tetris sneaks into the U.S. The computer game Tetris makes its first appearance in the United States as a PC game. The company that released the game was Spectrum Holobyte, which had a dubious licensing rights to the game. When companies became interested in licensing Tetris for other platforms beside the PC, a series of events kicked off a long legal battle in which the big winner was eventually Nintendo, who used the game Tetris to drive sales of its new Game Boy platform. Wow.
I remember Nintendo.
Nintendo, and then and I remember Tetris.
Definitely. And a lot of games are still based on Tetris.
Yeah, I remember Tetris. I mean, Tetris was like the thing that you played while you're waiting on everything.
Exactly.
Uh, and I still wasn't that good at it. But
Well,
okay.
something. I think a lot of games came out of that, like Candy Crush and different things that sort of
It
kept us
it all mirrored
entertained.
Okay. Anyway.
Versions of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, the first computer virus written January 30th, 1982, Richard Skrenta writes the first PC virus code, which is 400 lines long and disguised as an Apple II boot program called Elk Cloner.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, TJ can explain more of that. It's like, why would anyway? People just want to do stuff. Oh, I guess they want to become not anonymous anymore. You want to become famous for something. So
Uh-huh.
Infamous.
yeah, infamous for doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. First Super Bowl in HD, January 30th, 2000. Super Bowl 30. Okay, see, they put it in the Roman
numerals.
numeral 30. Okay, V with a 35.
Mhm.
The V was
Okay.
with the one on this side, so maybe it was 34. What Super Bowl 30 something, the St. Louis Rams beat the Tennessee Titans 23-16 at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. This was the first Super Bowl to be broadcast in high definition. And after living in New Orleans, okay, this is Marcel's comment. After living in New Orleans, then St. Louis, and suffering through the Saints, Cardinals, and Rams, it was the first time his home team won the Super Bowl. Actually, it was the first time any of his home teams won any major sports championship.
Mm.
Okay, so this is 2000, and it was HD.
Okay.
And we have 4K, but we are not utilizing 4K right now because you have to have a 4K TV, 4K camera, 4K TV camera equipment, all of that. Everything has to be 4K compatible. The wires have to be 4K. Your HDM cable has
connection
to be 4K. Everything you use has to support 4K or you don't get 4K.
Yep. And I take it that this is the same situation with 5K.
Right. Well, 5G, actually, you're talking about 5G.
5G.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even though the technology is there, does not mean that we're using it.
That we have the capacity and access on a national level to go there.
Right. So, they're trying. January 30th, 2007, Windows Vista released. Users exodus, they left. Okay, wait, anyway. 6 years after the launch of Windows XP, the infamous operating system Windows Vista was released to an unsuspecting public. For various reasons, the launch of Vista was marred by numerous incompatibility, stability, and otherwise onerous problems. While Microsoft actually made Vista more palatable after 2 Service Pack upgrades, the damage was already done. Vista's reputation never recovered. Many wondered if this is the reason why Microsoft so quickly followed. Many wonder if this is why Microsoft so quickly followed only 2 years later with Windows 7.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Windows XP was cool. It worked. And Windows XP was like, okay. Then Windows Vista came, we were like, no, what did you do? It was bad. Okay, anyway. January 31st, 1958, the first American satellite launches into orbit. Explorer 1 is launched, which becomes the first American satellite to successfully make orbit. First ape into space, January 31st, 1961, 50 years ago. Today, Ham the chimp travels into outer space aboard Mercury Redstone 2. Ham, who was named this only after he survived the flight, was the first ape to fly in space. Note that apes include chimpanzees, gorillas, and this guy says humans, but I don't agree, but not monkeys.
We're not going down that rabbit hole this morning. Okay?
You're an ape, not me.
Okay, we are not going there.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's not going down there. Yeah. And the last story, January 31st, 2005, SBC announced that it would purchase AT&T Corp for more than $16 billion. This completed maybe the long and sordid tale of the old AT&T company after their breakup in 1984. SBC, one of the original Baby Bells, renamed itself AT&T after the merger, confusing nearly everyone in the world as to which company was which anymore.
Okay. And I am amongst them, but go ahead.
And that is your weekend tech history.
Well, good morning, ladies. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. We got TJ in here from New York City.
Hello.
Jerry Johnson online. We got Dr. Tachi here, all the way from Florida. We're going to be talking about some media. It was an interesting week, I think. And, I always like to start with a firestorm, but I'm not doing it today. Today, I'm going to give y'all a break. I'm going to talk
Before you start, Terry, hold on a minute. I want to say hi. We got Anna in the house. We got Jay. We got Alfredo. Who else do we have over here? Everybody who's also incognito over there who may not have said anything. But we want to say thank you for tuning in. And Anna, thank you. I know you got to run. So thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What's happening in tech news? Anybody?
Well, I'm gonna go with this information from the Consumer Electronics Show. One of the individuals who attended, Scott Stein, he says he actually got to try one of the single contact lenses. And he said that it could give your life an entire makeover. You know what I'm saying? Because of the display that you're going to get on this contact lens. And so I'm going to put this up. I hope this picture will show. That's a picture of the contact lens. And so he held this contact lens up to his face. And I'm going to share some of his comments. He says, this contact lens won't just display text, so you can see text in your eye. He said they'll sense objects, track eye motion, have an eye-controlled interface that will access data like a smartwatch or smart glasses, and they'll let you see in the dark. So now I'm wondering, will this be used in military situations? But anyway, that's a whole nother application. But he says they're not just meant to give everyday people like James Bond powers in their eyes. They're really looking to assist people whose vision impairment could use help, like those with macular degeneration. And this touched my heart because my mother suffered from macular degeneration as a result. Can you see that? Let me see. Let me get him on here. As a result, I think I touched something, went to the next page. As a result of her diabetes. So the fact that, because she went legally blind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was a psychiatric social worker, Delta, and she took herself to blind school because she knew she was losing her sight. But if something like this could have helped her, I am really, you see how he's holding that up to his eye? Let me know if that's in the, okay. So something that minor could have helped her navigate because her spatial issues were compromised. But you'd be able to detect objects. I'm like, oh, okay. And to see in the dark. So when that vision is impaired, your peripheral vision, it would allow you to navigate.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes, and it's evidently it's fairly small. It's smaller than a penny. And I'm going to show this picture. Is that showing? Yeah. Okay, you can see it's compared to a penny there. And it's coming out hopefully this year.
Wow.
Do they have a cost?
No, they didn't say what the cost would be, but I'm sure it's covered by your insurance.
Sure.
I'm just saying, because think of all of the things that you could save, the savings to the public for those people who need these kinds of assistances, because a lot of people are confined to wheelchairs because they bump into things as a result of this impairment. So, yeah, it would be worth it for us to buy them some contact lenses. You know what I'm saying?
That's if they don't get in there and hike the price like the dude did with the EpiPen.
Wasn't that crazy? Okay, this company is Mojo Vision, and they were founded in 2017. So I don't know, but I do know that the wearables are becoming really enhanced to help. Then the other thing I want to talk about, and I think I'm going to ask you to talk about this, Tachi, because you probably know a lot more about it than I do, is Quibi. Quibi's got a Super Bowl ad coming up.
Before we dive over to that, TJ, what did you want to say about the wearables? Because TJ been talking to us about wearables for a while.
There's more to come. That's just the tip of it. It's going to be more. So I'm saying get used to it.
Yeah.
Because I've said earlier, everything is coming to fruition, because that's the way it's going. There's going to be a merging between it's called biotechnology. It's going to be, biological information and technology, and it's going to merge. Think $6 Million Man. Remember that show? Bionic Woman. It's going to go beyond that. So just get ready.
So are you saying that it's going to go beyond just simply putting things on ourselves, that these things are going to become part and parcel?
They're already 3D printing anything you can think of, and it's going to go next to...
That's true, isn't it?
Organs, whatever we need.
Now here's the thing with here's the thing with that. There's been biotechnology and biomedical technology for a long time. The problem with introducing something foreign into our bodies is that often our bodies don't like those types of things.
Right.
So I really want to see how they're going to overcome that, and if they're working on some ways to kind of make these things, wearables as they're called.
There'll be some kind of technology that isn't, like you said, in the works or to come, that will allow the two things to commingle or intertalk or whatever. Think about when you have a computer, you have peripherals, you have printers and other things that Bluetooth wasn't around before. So you had to physically connect your printer to your PC, and there were wires. They figured out Bluetooth, and now you don't have to do that. So I don't know this is the feeling I'm getting, that they are working on it, or it's going to be some kind of interconnectivity with the two items, because like Taji said, they don't go together. These two things don't go together, but they will figure it out. It's to come. So, I don't know if it's next year or 10 years.
I need you to know. I need you to know, Tech Diva. Is it next year or is it 10 years? I need you to know.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's not sufficient.
No pressure.
I don't know when. If I knew the exact date, I would buy me some.
I hear that. Buy some stuff.
We would be invested. We would be heavily invested.
There's going to be technology where they figure out how to make the two items work. It has to be a technology. They're not just going to, glue them together. It's going to be some kind of this is called in computer language, it's called the bus. The bus takes information from the chip to the other parts of the motherboard. So it's gonna, I'm thinking bus, the word bus, not like a bus you ride. It's a piece of equipment that's not a microchip, but it sends the information between two things that are not like each other on a motherboard to make things work.
Okay,
so
interesting.
I didn't really want to get technical with it, but yeah.
No, that was
it was a good explanation. It wasn't that technical. I got it.
Oh, okay.
That was great. That was great.
When you in your computer, there's a motherboard. It is the brain. So there are lots of things on there that are not the same. Memory, all kind of things, video card, all the things that make your computer work. So there has to be something that goes around and interconnects those two, so it passes information one thing to another. So I'm thinking, and this is just coming to me. I mean, I'm saying bus. It could be called something else, but in computer language, that's the thing that takes information around, like it serves a tray and goes around, like, in an office where there's someone with a tray, you want something, it goes around and serves everything. So it's going to be something that connects the two. It won't our biological parts and the 3D printed part, or if they go beyond that, because there are other metals and things, they'll figure out how to make some kind of interconnectivity, like our nerves and tendons and things that keep our bones and muscles together. It's going to be something like that.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I have a really quick follow-up to that. So say they do and they will figure out a way to make these things coexist inside the human body. So now they've done this. Where then, and here we go with the ethical part of it. Let's think about the Olympics, for example. Nike had the Vapor Max, which was outlawed because it gave apparently too much of an advantage. I don't necessarily believe in that. I think if you're a good athlete, you're a good athlete, unless you're taking performance enhancing drugs. Maybe they give you a little bit, but you're a good athlete. So that was a thing now. But now they have kind of lifted that ban on the Nike Vapor Max. So now you have this kind of technology that kind of allows you to implant these things in the soles of feet or whatever that will allow you to do better. Where's the line? Where's the line? How do we deal with that type of thing?
The government will deal with it the way they deal with it now, good or bad. It's not going to be perfect. Also, there'll be things to track that kind of thing happening. So as the technology grows for one thing, everything comes with it. And there'll be that outcry, like you said, someone will bring it up saying that's not fair. So take, for example, who's the baseball player? I want to say Barry Bonds. I might be wrong, but he took steroids or whatever, and he beat Hank Aaron's home run record. But Hank Aaron did it without any performance enhancing drugs. Barry Bonds did it, and correct me, guys. I'm thinking Barry Bonds. I might have the wrong player, but he surpassed Hank Aaron's record, and now he's the one with the most, home runs. Whatever the record is, guys, check me in the comments. So there should be an asterisk that says this guy did it with performance enhancing drugs versus Hank Aaron did it naturally.
In the natural.
Right. So I feel like there'll be something as that technology grows, there'll be other things that come with it where government or society will say, okay, you have a Special Olympics for those people, or we have a way of tracking and knowing, or they'll be tracked when they get the surgery or the procedure and they have to go into a date. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing things out. There'll be something to say, this person has a part that he wasn't born with or she wasn't born with.
So,
but on the other side of that, I want you to look at the positive part where you have people now that have the limbs, those runner legs. Those kind of people that need the prosthetics and stuff, it will get better for them. Like it'll be more natural, so you won't ever know that they have a metal leg. Like, now you see it where you see the actual metal leg.
Yeah,
it's going to be to where you won't know that, and it'll be good for that kind of medical research or whatever. And
when you're talking about prosthetics, children, when they have missing limbs like hands, it'll be more cost effective to replace the hand as they
It will help
grow.
them because as their children, and they won't be called out by other children, so psychologically it will be better for them. There'll always be a good and a bad side to this, and it'll be us as a society that will check and balance that. Supposedly, I'm not saying it's going to work 100%. Look at our government; it's supposed to work. It's not working right now, but that's another thing. There will be something to check and balance because that's a law of nature. There's a yin and a yang. There's a black and a white. There's an up and a down. That's just the law of nature. So there's going to be something to check, either us or the government or a private entity, or somebody's going to make the demand. Just like right now, we're in this privacy, thing. Facebook, because I was going to talk about Facebook's new thing. So people demand that. So it becomes the thing. You understand what I'm saying? We demand it, so it becomes, because we demand it.
And they refine it as we go.
There'll always be the people that want to do things for bad, but there'll always be the other side of us who say that's not right, and we not fight, but
give us some regulation.
Right, and then out of that comes the awareness and the regulation. Not saying it will be perfect. Nothing's perfect. I'm just saying there will be something to check it, or to note that this person had, something put in there biologically or technology and whatever.
Just like we put the numbers on the
there'll be serial numbers. There'll be numbers. There'll be some kind of system where they have to register, or the number of the part will be registered, and there'll be technology to match whatever we're at in that level. Because technology grows that way. That's the way it grows. That's the way it happens.
Well, I want to play on words of perfect, because there is now a tracker for your cat. It's the size of a
No, that's a good thing, because if you let your cat out, outside,
but it's not just tracking the cat; it's tracking the cat's health.
Okay, before we dive over there, I want to put Mark's comment up. He said, "Now let's be real. The wearables must match my shoes."
That is the key to all of this. If it doesn't match, but you know what? He's right about that when it comes to, we're not talking about internal wearables, but when we're talking about wearables, most people are looking at it for aesthetics as well. You're not going to buy some clunky, ugly something. I don't care what it does. So we're used to sleek because of Apple, and then everybody has followed suit. So we want sleek, we want chic, and we want stylish. So the funny thing is the functionality of wearables is almost secondary to the aesthetics.
Yes.
That's true.
Fashion will always be around in some form or fashion. There will be, because as humans, like Tachi said, that's where, if fashion has evolved, if you look at fashion over time, everything's evolved to different things, and each decade has this look or that look. That will naturally go along with it. It won't. Remember when computers were these beige square things? When you look at old movies from like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, big square, beige, ugly looking things. But at the time, that was the fashion of the computer. So now they're black and they're flat, and so everything will change as far as style, design. Those things evolve also. So we're going to see. It's going to be a great, exciting time. I feel like it will be. There will be parts of society that won't be able to catch up with it, and that's another thing that has to be looked at, that makes sure that everybody comes along at the same time, or in that same area, where you're not leaving somebody back in the 1800s and we're in 2300 or whatever. And so there has to be that kind of check and balance.
And then Mark also says, and then we will need internal virus protection, Norton antivirus for the body. I don't want to get hacked by the Russians.
Okay, and that's not a joke either. It's a joke, but it's really not a joke. It's really not a joke, because when we're already talking about doing things like gene editing, and that is technology, but having some type of device inside that can edit on the fly, basically, inside your body, as you encounter new viruses and new foreign bodies inside, they're able to attack, isolate, and get rid of them. So even though we're laughing, it really is not a joke. That is on the horizon.
Right. So you think about it on this side, that technology is going to help eradicate a lot of diseases we have now. Because think about years ago when there was polio, that was a thing that was big. It's like, oh, we're never ever going to get rid of it. And they did the same thing with, was it measles or small? One of those that's coming back. Measles is coming back, but we got rid of it. It was gone completely.
Right.
And now it's back. So
because a lot of people don't want to participate.
Right. So we have that faction of people that don't want to be a part of it, but then you're holding the rest of the world back by saying, okay, and I don't want to get into the measles and vaccination thing.
We don't want to get into the
But you know what, Ken, if I could talk about this, there has been a mistrust of technology because technology has been used in a way that it should be mistrusted. And so consequently, you have people that are suspicious of anything that is an advancement. And then you also have, I keep thinking about malaria. So malaria is just a thing that when you live in certain places in, for example, West Africa, in a tropical rainforest, that's just a thing that you're going to get. Yeah, it's a disease that can be deadly, but it's also something that if, for example, you live there and you keep taking anti-malarial drugs, you don't build up an immunity to it. So and in fact, that's how sickle cell came about as a response to malaria, because people with sickle cell don't get malaria. So that's how it actually developed. So you're talking about people in the bush, for lack of a better term, people that are spread out that either don't have the information or mistrustful of technology, don't want to subject their body to what they feel is an experiment. So that's also the thing too. So sometimes it's not people necessarily purposely trying to be selfish. It's because technology and sometimes science has done a very nice job of misusing people's trust, and consequently, you don't have everybody's trust. So we now need to say, how can we get people on our side? How can we get everybody's trust? Because admittedly, we did something wrong before that caused people to mistrust us. Whether it's we up the prices of EpiPens and things like this, or we were doing experiments on people without their knowledge. So,
like
there's two sides.
Experiment,
yes,
and Henrietta Lacks. Most of the modern cures to diseases we have today is because of her gene pool.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And weren't they surprised? But anyway.
The Frankenstein theory, because people are doing stuff in the back lab and not telling anybody. And then they're like, oh, we have this cure, but then, then they put parts together and doing weird stuff. So yes, the tech people need to be more honorable. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay, so we got some comments over here. Let me see. We got Nazim and everybody. Oh, let's see. Nazim says, not a fan of the wearables, prefers a glass of wine. And Nazim, I'm not sure what you are speaking with on the green picture.
Tray.
Because, I don't understand how to use a green screen just yet. I got to go play with that, because we do have green screen capabilities now with StreamYard.
Yep.
Alfredo said he will share a glass of wine with you. Just send him the bottle. Okay. And Nazim and Alfredo are
cloning each other.
But he does say, I am so scared of the growth of racism and intolerance due to this new virus, Corona. I overheard some really scary conversations on the train this morning over here in Italy. And I can concur, because when somebody gets on the plane of a certain ethnic or nationality and they come on with a mask, you got to shut your head down. It is not, because it's been blasted all over the news and it's not cool. It is really not cool. And I don't know what to do about it. It's like,
but you know what? Here's the thing, though. That, and I don't want to get into the whole thing, but that usually only comes when it's, quote, the other. Because using that same theory, we should all be scared of 18-year-old white males who wear black trench coats and are goths. if we're using that same
Exactly.
if we're using
True.
that same line of reasoning, but we don't. And it's a way to, obviously it's been devised as a way to prove, yes, see, we're right about XYZ group. So, we really have to stop that. And technology needs to be part of that solution as opposed to part of the problem. And I think Mark made a comment in terms of it not being the technology we don't trust, that it's the corporations. I agree, but some people cannot separate the work of the corporation from the technology itself, and they become one and the same.
Right. They put the two together instead of separating the technology that comes from the company. So then we have to say, okay, maybe there'll be a company that comes and it'll be the ethics will be right and the technology will be right. We can't look at, okay, Google is here, Apple, all of these companies weren't here like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They all come out of the growth of technology, going to the moon, doing this and that, NASA experiments, all of those things that comes out. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's to come, but there are going to be things to come for all of our concerns because we're concerned about it. That's where it grows from, being concerned about not leaving certain groups behind, being ethical, doing this, doing that. That's because we as a society will be concerned enough and someone will do something or say something or get a group of people together and go, yes, government is not perfect. It has never been perfect.
Never. Because it's run by people.
And Terry and I know, being on the inside, they are way behind wherever level that Google and Apple, their level of technology awareness and knowledge and everything is way behind, truthfully.
And that's partially because they don't want to spend the money to update it. That is a huge part of it. That you can. I was, government contractor for a while. If you don't know, I was a tour guide when I was in my doctoral program. I did tours at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing where they make the money, and so I used to talk. Yeah, I used to talk about money and how it was made and show people. So, but the technology we use on the tour, sheesh, can you call Steve Jobs circa 1982? I'm like, but they didn't want to spend the money if it still works, they will use it. And so rather than to upgrade, unless they 100% have to, they won't. So part of their abhorrence to this is the fact that they don't want to spend the money on it.
Well, is it that we don't want to spend the money, or that we're just good stewards of your tax dollars?
No,
because they'll spend $17 on a pencil.
Right.
Yeah, or $50 on a toilet seat.
See, if you just get them, it would be better spent to do it. It would save them money in the long run.
We understand this.
So the people who are sitting there need to be voted out, and we need to vote some other people in there.
Exactly. That's the process.
Nice try.
The people that aren't working for us in government as we the people. That's why it says we the people. So if we don't like, we have to vote them out. That's why there's an election every 2 years or 4 years.
Can we stop making it so uncomfortable that the people who do know what to do leave government?
No. To this whole thing, it's all very nice, and we know that's what's supposed to happen. But let me say, and scene, because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Call me cynical, I am, because how many years has this republic been in in existence? No, it's not going to happen. And I hate to say it like that, but I think we don't value new ideas.
No,
we don't. And part of the reason we don't value new ideas is because adherence to the old ways is so tied to money
and fear
and
fear of change.
Money and fear of change. Absolutely.
Losing power, fear of change, and losing money. Those things.
All right. Well, can we talk about the sick cat?
Okay, go ahead with the cat, Mary. Tell us about the cat.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You don't want to bring up the wearables.
Yeah, I didn't want to go down the politician rabbit hole.
Too late.
Is that too late?
So this says what? The activity tracker helps you know when your cat is actually sick. It tracks whether or not their nutrition's on track, if they're having heart issues. It's like a Fitbit for your cat.
These are for pet parents.
And so I think the reason I like this is because I think it's also a way to refine technology eventually for us so that it works better. Because as you refine it for the animals, it's the same type of technology and it can be applied over here.
Of course.
Mhm.
So see that there it is again, the growth of technology path based on smaller animals and then figuring out how to make it work with humans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as long as you don't go internal, they're gonna be all good because PETA will be.
okay, you know what I'm saying? It's the size of a
Fitbit for cats.
minto, and it hangs around the cat's neck, and
Fitbit for cats.
it sends the information to your app, just like your Fitbit.
Yeah.
It says here, for example, if your cat isn't being as active as usual, you'll be notified. You know how the ring on your app works? Okay, trying to walk the dog. He's not moving around, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess nature doesn't know how to do it. Alfredo says, "Does a cat have hairballs?"
I don't think it tracks hairballs. It tracks activity, Al.
Cats are always gonna have hairballs.
Fitbits for cats.
Unless you have a hairless cat.
The tracker doesn't have a price, but it's called per song. That's why when you said perfect, Terry, I was like, oh, per song, and it hopes to sell for around $100.
Those are for pet parents. They'll sell. The pet industry, based on 30 years ago to today, there's such a change. There's such a growth of more interest, more things. The industry has grown beyond Alpo. It used to be Alpo for dogs and Purina for cats, and now there's just.
I'm gonna tell you what my husband said. There was a dog. They put him in the backyard on a chain with a cold biscuit. The dog was cool for a long time. The dog was in the yard. There was no.
Yep, and they bed in the backyard. There was no. They wear little booties now. They wear coats. They wear outfits. They
sleep in the bed with some people.
Well, Nazim says he's worried about the cat's privacy issues. You might have to find some more.
Oh my gosh. Brenna says keeping things as nature intended, only use technology to improve quality of life, not to be the best, better, greatest, don't contribute to the ultimate demise, value life, change for the benefit of humanity. Due to the enormous unseen, her daughter had a procedure that is no longer practiced due to the enormous amount of unforeseen health impacts. The health industry and the pet industry are driven by profit.
Yeah.
Only. I shouldn't say only. I think there are some researchers and some people involved that really have the interest of the people at heart, particularly people who have family members or close people that have suffered from said ailment, whatever it is. So I think there are people that really do have the best interests at heart. But whenever profit becomes tied to anything, the goal is to make as much as possible. Because think about it. You don't have to make as much profit as you do off of certain things. You don't. Let's go to Apple for a minute. Apple doesn't have to make as much profit. It doesn't cost them that much to make an iPhone. So they don't need to make $1,000 profit off of each one, if not more. You don't need to, but there's the drive to do so because that's the marker of how well you're doing as a company. The more profit, the better you're doing. And I don't think that's necessarily true, especially when we look at it from a corporate responsibility model. But that's my thought.
Okay.
So, but I'm just saying the whole, when a price tag comes on it, then they send you through things like, oh, you need to take this. There's not a thing wrong with you, but just in case, we want you to get on this regimen of this. And I'm thinking to myself, why?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Ask why. Don't just blindly accept anything that's coming towards us.
Because why are we taking this?
Yeah.
And And then the thing that they give you, there's side effects for that. Now you got to take something for the side effects, and then it goes on and on and on. And then you,
Oh yeah, big pharma, they call it.
Okay, Jay said, okay, OMG, don't get me started about health insurance company that's making money off of us.
Yeah.
Friend says he has to pay for marketing.
It's just interesting to the health insurance thing. It's like there are a lot of people. The way health insurance works, as we know, is that everybody pays into it, and you are paying for the people who use it a lot, basically.
Right.
So I just recall when I had torn my ACL 5 years ago now, and I was like, okay, I didn't want to get surgery or whatever, and so I was able to rehab, and I'm fine without an ACL. But there was something about I had an MRI done, and so they charged, but then I also had to pay like $300. I said $300. I went extra. I said $300. Do you realize I have paid you people for 10 years and never used health insurance at all, ever? And they're like, well, yeah, but so it's like annoying the way the system, it's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's almost like a Ponzi scheme. So I just had to say that because it's interesting the way it's spread out and how ineffective health insurance actually is.
Because it started out being good. It started out being very honorable. We're going to help you. So when you come in, you can get this without having to chunk down all this money like you do with your car. Now that they're trying to get you the warranty on the car type stuff so that you've paid up. So when you go, you don't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money when you go in there. That stuff is over with.
Yeah.
If I could have the money that I pay to our health plan right now, hold on, a lot of kids can go to college.
Yes, bills would be paid off. Hunger would end.
And I'm like you, I don't use the health plan. I haven't used it. What,
exactly?
Time? Maybe twice.
Well, like for regular checkups and stuff, but that's like not that much compared to what you pay and pay out. And then so at the time, I was employed by the university. So, I paid for half of it and they paid for the other half. But I'm like, this is a big chunk. And you're doing this for everybody and not everybody uses it. Now, that's not to say that it's just ineffective. There's got to be another way.
And see,
we can do better.
But see, this is the thing that the previous administration tried to attack, this big ball morass problem of health insurance for all, and he was met with resistance. But you have to look at other countries like in Europe and stuff that they have, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, you don't worry about I have to pay because they pay with the taxes. Now their taxes are higher, but if they want to go to the doctor, they go. There's no I have to pay this ambulance bill or I have to pay this they go. But on the other side of that, they pay a lot in taxes. So it's like we have to give up something. We can have universal health care for all. Everybody has to do it, and everybody has to pay more, but they don't want to do that. That's the issue. They don't want to pay more.
Says move to Italy, everybody.
See? I know, right?
See?
He says my daughter went through brain surgery twice, totally covered.
See?
Wow.
There's no hesitancy about getting procedures or getting your health taken care of or getting preventive medicine. I don't feel well. I go to the doctor. And Nazim can attest to that. But there's the tax thing. That's the issue over here in the United States is the tax issue. They don't want to pay more. They want to pay less, but they want to have all of these services and wonder why infrastructure is crumbling. Why? Taxes and your government and what's going on and people, under the table and paying this and getting kicked. All of that stuff is into why the roads, the bridges are the way they are, the way the insurance system is set up, and they don't want to change it because why? Fear. People don't want to lose power, the power that they have, and they don't want to lose any money.
Wow.
That's what it is.
We can't talk about other countries then and dictatorships.
Nazim's comment, Fran, about our taxes. See?
Yep, our taxes are higher, but they cover everything. None of that deductible crap here.
See, they
I
just
don't
go,
mind. I'll pay some higher
I
taxes.
don't mind
I
providing.
I
agree.
don't mind.
There's a certain fraction in America. We will, you know who they are. They do not want that.
I
At
would pay this
all.
because see if we paid the tax. Okay, so here's a little bit of history since that's what I like.
Yes.
The income tax was never meant to stay.
Really?
It was meant to be for a specific time during the Depression, I believe,
War.
and it was never supposed to go on and on and on.
Got
But
it.
they got a little whiff of that money coming in every,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can't even read the tax code.
You have no idea what you're paying or
It's
why you're
horrible.
paying it.
Right, and it's messed up.
But see, where Nazim lives, Italy and Europe, they decide together as a country to pay the higher tax together because we all benefit. Wow, what a great concept. But
Well,
here,
there was screaming and gnashing of teeth when we asked people to share, and because when you share, the price goes down. I mean, that's just the way it works.
let's see,
What about? I'm sorry.
No, Nazim says he has 40% tax rate.
Where is that?
Above, right? You see it above Jay's
Yeah.
comment.
Typically 30%. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that if I know that everything is going to be taken care of.
We all do. I would like to say we all do, right? But there's a certain faction in this country that they don't want others to have things. They don't want them for themselves. They want them for themselves, but if they could keep that other group from having it, they'll deny themselves. They'll cut their nose off because, well, at least they don't have it. That kind of attitude. Also, the ones that they don't want to pay more. They don't see the benefit of we all benefit if we do this one thing collectively as a country.
What about what would you guys think about having a tech tax, for example? If certain tech items were taxed and that those taxes went towards those types of services.
Okay, which ones? Like phone? Like you mean like smartphones or?
Yeah, like smartphones. So something, that's something that's very ubiquitous, and they're making record profits off of that. So what if a portion of that?
They're already taxed. There's the regular tax where you pay for your state when you buy it or whatever.
Right.
They tell you about, and then there's a little tax over here, and we're like, well, what's that for? The state of California has a CP something or rather, and it is taxed.
They're getting a cut.
It goes toward the for the people who can't afford a communication device, I believe it is. That goes toward that. So people who don't have a way to don't have a way to make a call or whatever, they will be able to make a call for free. You can sign up for Terry, I can't remember what it's called, but you can sign up and get free service.
Government phone.
You don't have service. I'm talking about for in the state of California. If you don't have service, you can. There's no reason for you not to have it.
By Bush, right?
That's a federal program.
That was started by Bush in the Bush administration.
No, I don't mean that the government phone. I'm talking about if your service, like for your electricity or whatever,
I see what you mean.
And it comes off of, I believe, the cell phone and something else, but they're taxing you in addition to what you paid for the phone.
So that's in the state of California,
right?
So I think these things are decided on a state level. Because we don't have that here in Florida. Florida doesn't pay any tax. Florida is just interesting, but so I guess that's on a state by state basis. But if there was something that really that was federally mandated or federally dictated that we participate in, sure, people may be annoyed at first, but after a while, you wouldn't even notice it.
And that has to come from, remember, the state's right trumps federal rights. So it would have to come from the state. Each state would have to agree. And that means the people you vote for in the state would have to be a part of it. And then it would go to a federal mandate. That's the problem we have with a lot of things that we need passed now. It's
Never mind.
because of the people you elect in your state.
Never mind. I rescind my last statement.
That's why California, when they have the CCPA that they put in, and the thing with the we were talking about before about the gig economy, the thing that's in. But those things are in California because California is like our test state for like federal things. So you can see how it happens in California.
The way this works is on the East Coast, the laws start in New York.
Right.
On the West Coast, they start in California.
Correct.
Because those are large states and influential states, population-wise.
Right.
And so they tend to enact state laws first. And then, like you said,
and if it works, they try to get it federally done. But then there's other states I won't name that never want to opt into things that can help their citizens and constituents.
Okay,
so,
I'm not going to go down the road of the Uber, AB5.
Yeah,
because I've been riding with some Uber drivers, and the ones I'm riding with, they're like,
"What?
This is cool."
They don't like it.
No, because it's supposed to kick in, but there are people fighting it.
Right.
That's what I mean. Trying to overturn it because it makes no sense.
Right.
The whole thing makes no sense. How
and it
just turn it around?
So,
if you want to be an employee, go get a job. But okay, we didn't ask you to come drive over here. Anywho,
more choices make this seem impossible to get anything done. Everybody's trying to row the boat their way, so we're not moving. That's
in circles, we're moving. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the guy in the back with the megaphone and row the stroke guy that tells you. Everybody wants to row their way, and it's just not. It's frustrating.
Yeah. So we are not trying to let AB5 out of the country. I mean, out to the rest of the country.
Well, they're banned in Italy, according to Nazim.
Yeah, Nazim said Uber is banned in Milan.
Mm-hmm. So, but here, that's probably because you guys got taxi people who are going to really work with you. Not here.
They actually come. They actually pick you up.
They're actually come and get you. They don't get you here. So. Okay, so what's going on in Facebook or social media?
Okay, I had my story queued up. So Facebook this week, they have something called what's it called? Off Facebook activity tool. It's this tool that they promised a year ago or so that we're going to let you opt out of being, the tracking that they do, that they use for ads about, showing you different ads. Well, the thing is, it doesn't stop Facebook from tracking you. It just lets you disassociate your account with the Facebook activities of collecting data. They still collect the data. They just don't know that is from you specifically. You disconnect from all the activity. So, and then we have I heard that Instagram.
I'm not sure I know what that means. Okay, so let me see if I can say this in English because I'm not sure. Okay, so if I go in and I click the little stuff and I disconnect, that means I won't see these ads. They'll see me, but they won't be able to get to me. So like an invisible shield.
Okay, so this is what Facebook says when I go to my account. All Facebook activity includes information that businesses and organizations share with us about your interactions with them, such as visiting their websites or interacting with their apps. What is all Facebook activity? All Facebook activity includes information that businesses and organizations share with us about your interactions with them. Interactions are things like visiting their website, logging into their app, and it does not include customer lists that businesses use to show a unique group of customer relevant ads. So, see, this is the thing. It's not. So
we're still on the list.
Because I'm going to tell you why. You can use this off Facebook activity and disconnect whatever, but this is how Facebook ads work. As a business, you have a website or a landing page or wherever you're sending people that you own, you have to install the Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel is a piece of code that lets Facebook interact with your website So every time you may not use Facebook at all, but when you go to a website that has the pixel, Facebook has activity on you. There's no way to disconnect from that. Because the website has the pixel. And I'm telling you, a whole bunch of websites, I think at least 30%, I think, use the pixel.
And you have no way of knowing.
No. Well, you can if you're really interested. There's a Chrome extension that lets you see if a Facebook pixel is installed on a website, but you can't do a thing about it because you don't own the website.
Right.
You just won't go to that website. But if you go to the website to check for the pixel, you've already given them data because you went to the website. Okay. Yes, it's confusing, Darlene. I agree. So if you're going to use this new off Facebook activity tool that Facebook presents, look what we've done. All they're doing is disconnecting the part where they know it's you from your profile. That they know is Terry Johnson and I live at New York and I like this book. All the things you gave Facebook when you sign up, because they ask you what kind of books you like, the type of movies, where your friends are, what you do. They can still
like that dating app.
They don't know it's you. They don't know the name. They just know that it's you. That is a female, whatever, and you like this, that, but they don't know it's you. The only way to opt out of anybody tracking you everywhere is to delete all your apps. Because your apps, they talk to Facebook too. Even if you don't open the app.
Wow.
Lovely. Facebook's an octopus. I'm going to tell you now. They got arms and tentacles everywhere.
Yes.
So this is why I don't use WhatsApp. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't use WhatsApp because of the 2 incidences of spying on people when the app is not even open. Just because you installed it on your phone, the hacking ability is there. And it's been proven twice with Israel and Saudi Arabia. 2 stories. Go look it up. I don't use WhatsApp at all. Nope. So you're concerned about privacy? Delete all your apps. But what fun is your phone in? Then it just texts. You can just text people in your close community.
You just go get a flip phone and be done with it.
You can get a flip phone.
And that was actually a thing that a lot of celebrities were doing for a while. That was like a little trend for a while for celebrities to just have a flip phone. Because you can't track a flip phone. There's no Bluetooth on a flip phone. It's just for making calls and maybe some cute little emoticon texts. That's it.
So let's think about this in a sense of Facebook makes money from ads, right?
Yeah.
So they need data to serve to the person who's buying the ad so they can target you, not in a bad way. It's just a way to filter. So if I sell golf balls, I always bring up golf. If I sell golf balls, I want to sell it to people that that play golf or they're enthusiasts. I don't want it to send it to everybody. So Facebook tracks that. This person likes the golf and magazine or they like the Masters. There's a way for them to tell. So they're looking at that information in that sense. That's the targeting part of it. So they can give the ad to the person who's most likely to be receptive to it, not to send it to me because I don't like golf. So don't send me anything. I'm going to get mad and report the ad and all that stuff. So that's why Facebook has the tracking information.
It sorts the data and they targets the audience.
And they used to have more. They used to have more ways of targeting you, but those things were taken away because of the housing laws we have and other things that they were tracking based on like ethnicity and stuff like that. Used to be able to do that, maybe 5 years ago, but they took that information was taken out. So you can track by interest and behavior, pages that people like, things like that. So it's interest based now versus, getting deep in the demographics of.
Okay. Well, Al says this. He says, Nazim, text me later so Facebook can't track our secret conversation.
So now I'm going to tell you, there's an app that I use that it's not, nothing's 100%, but it's way better than WhatsApp. It's called Telegram. There's another one called Signal. Those two I've heard from reading and using that those are more, that have a higher level of encryption than Facebook. But again, you don't want to be tracked by anything. Don't use any app. None. That's the way to go. So we either use Facebook because there is advantage to it as business owners because everybody's there. It's the marketplace. And then you have to say personally, I'm not going to do these things because I don't want to be tracked personally. I just want to use it for business. But then Facebook tracks other people and gives you that information as a business owner to run ads. It's a two-sided coin that we.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Nazim says that he's on Wire and Signal, but also guilty with WhatsApp. Now, I haven't heard of Wire, Nazim.
I haven't either.
Jason's Facebook Messenger, you can go incognito. Yeah, but that's not, I'm talking on a hacker level. Like apps on your phone can track you because there's code written in the app. It doesn't even have to be open, Jay. So I'm not a fan. I use Messenger, but not for anything that I don't want to be tracked on, if you get my meaning. I want to talk to my clients. I want to talk to my clients. So I want to talk to them about certain things. But if I want to talk on a higher encrypted level, I say, hey, join me on Telegram. So I talk to I have someone in Canada that I talk to on, we use Telegram. It's just one of the things that I'm doing. But you can use whatever you like. I'm just giving you the information. So
well, I know I unplugged my little Google Mini back here, but
and WhatsApp is popular. I know it is because you can talk to other people in other countries, but there are other apps that are better.
Okay. Well, Nazim wants to know, should he start whispering to his Alexa?
That's a whole nother, talking to her is another thing. That's another track. It's being tracked. Okay. Now with Ring, they're saying don't use the Ring doorbell because there's some things going on with that being the hack.
Yeah,
it's been hacked several times.
Yeah. So you have to decide what level I want to use everything and how do I want to be tracked and do I want to be tracked?
Exactly.
There's some people that go off the grid completely. Like they have a flip phone, they don't have a computer, they don't have Alexa, they don't have cable, they don't have the. We have to decide what level of society as a person you want to. Nazim said I chucked my phone in the toilet. You gotta get that cat to rescue that puppy.
The cat litter rescue that puppy. Okay. Well,
you have to think. I mean, that's all I can say. Don't let Facebook putting out this off activity thing and think that you're safe. You're not. You're still being tracked because it's like the cookies in the browser track you. So there's a big thing about that. The Pixel tracks you because you go to the website. How are we going to navigate this road of communication that we're going forward? How?
I don't know, but Marcus got a little rant going here. He says it's simple. Just live your life. That you're, what does he say? That you're staring in a 24-hour reality show. Oh, that you're starring in a 24-hour reality show. Someone is always watching. With me, I assume that they'll get bored and turn the channel.
There was a movie.
The Truman Show.
That's what we're living because you're using your phone because it's convenient. You can buy things. You can get your coffee at Starbucks and not go into. You can just order it. I'm 3 blocks away. I'm ordering my coffee. I get it. The guy comes out and I go. People want convenience, but they have to realize convenience comes out.
There is a price. Nothing is ever free. Nothing is ever free. You are paying with your time or your data if you're not paying physically with money.
Yes.
So
and you have to decide, is the cost worth it to you individually?
Yeah.
I don't even think we know the full extent to what data and having all this data can really do to you, because I don't think the average person has felt anything. Like if there's a hack and then they experience something on their credit report or something, then they know. But the average person may not have experienced anything yet. It's only until we don't know the full extent of what all of our data being out there actually means.
So there's a story out recently about Jeff Bezos, how he got the pictures that led to his divorce with the girlfriend, but because of WhatsApp.
Well, I'm looking forward to someone hacking my mortgage company and wiping out my debt.
Yeah, see, yes, I mean, that's the thing. It's never anything like that. When Experian or whatever got hacked, no, Equifax got hacked, it was only the names of the. I'm like, can you wipe clean the
in the air? That somebody design an app or some hacker back there do some good stuff and wipe out student loan debt, credit card debt, mortgage debt.
There's never a Robin Hood type of mentality.
Yes, can we
never.
I think all things are working together for my good, ladies.
There you go. There you go. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like the laundry room in our apartment, they have new machines now that you use. They have the QR codes on them.
Okay.
You use the app. And you don't put money in, you don't use a card or anything. You use the phone. So you take your phone and you okay, I want this machine, and then you point the camera at. There are older people in my build. They will not use it, not at all. There's even a card you can buy, a machine where you buy the card to tap. They won't even do that. Nope. I don't know how they're doing their laundry.
People are really traditional when it comes to things. I believe in the power of apps. Like, okay, I always watch whenever I go to something. In fact, the other day, my sorority sisters and I had my line anniversary. So we went out to eat. So everybody was struggling on the street with their credit card or trying to put money in. I just went put on the app. I'm like, you all don't have pay by phone? Why would you not have the two apps, one for Fort Lauderdale and one for Miami?
Fear.
It's fear, and then sometimes laziness, sometimes this is the way I'll do it later, and sometimes you keep putting it off.
Lack of knowledge.
Sometimes it's a lack of knowledge too.
You'd be surprised how many people do not know how to download an app. And when you say to them just download an app, they don't want to say that they don't know how to do it. But they've been having their grandkids and other people.
Yeah.
But see, that's where a smart business would have a QR code in their location or wherever, and then you tell them, take your phone out, open the camera, point it at the code, and then the thing that they need to download, it will take them to it. No typing, no nothing. It goes bloop. That's
ladies, we're getting close to not. I just want to know, are we going to get to media today?
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you have something, or are you done, Terry? Is there something else you want to say?
And then Byte is out. Byte is the new version.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So TikTok has moved into the spot, so I don't know about Byte. I don't have a good feeling.
Well, people, Byte might get popular because people really have issues with the possibilities of TikTok.
Yeah.
So they may decide to use that
way they would, take over. So we'll see
the action.
And they don't have a lot of the things that make TikTok fun to use, like the filters and the things and the side by side. They don't have that yet. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So that's it. I'm done.
Wow.
Tachi, what's up? What's up with media?
Before I get to media, the interesting thing is that the parent company of TikTok is called ByteDance. So that's interesting. Yeah. That could be a precursor. So I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Quibi. So what I know about Quibi is they actually are one of two streaming companies that will have a commercial during the Super Bowl, the other one being Amazon Prime. And Quibi, if you don't know, it stands for Quick Bites. And it's all about content that you can consume in under 10 minutes. So we're talking about stuff that's more snackable, right? Than some of the longer things that you would find on YouTube, etc. So they are debuting in April, and they're really doing a lot to get the word out there and to kind of generate a buzz so that people know that it's even, coming and debuting. But, it's had quite a buzz up until this point. So, as I said, they're going to air a commercial during the Super Bowl. If you haven't seen it, it's a 30-second commercial, and it's called Bank Heist. And basically, it's about a heist gone wrong that leaves about 4 robbers with 10 minutes to spare. And that happens to be just the perfect amount of time to watch Quibi. So you can actually find it on YouTube, or just Google Quibi Super Bowl commercial, and you'll be able to see it there.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I thought the commercial was cute, but because I didn't know what Quibi was, I had to, after watching the commercial, go over and watch Meg Whitman talk about what it really was.
Yes. Yeah. It's a platform from Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what all this hubbub is going to be about.
I think it could change the way we consume content,
Mm-hmm.
because we can watch 10 minutes, of an episode and wait for another episode. The day of just sitting there letting the TV roll is sort of passe. It reminds me of cable, but because of the size, I think, and the quality, they're supposed to be really good quality.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I understand. So we've got till April, and April seems to be the time. And this is why, because April is March, April is prime time, because you've got South by Southwest that happens in March, and then in April you've got NAB that happens. So you'll notice that a lot of these types of apps, etc., will debut in March or April, because it's in perfect timing with in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Quibi is at South by Southwest in Austin in March, kind of talking a little bit about this and hyping things up. That's really how Meerkat got their start and how they got hyped up, because of being at South by Southwest. So look out for it there. If anybody is going to South by, I will not this year, but think of me. And then, so I had another thing. The Kobe Bryant thing has been done already a lot. So I didn't want to talk. I was only going to talk about it from the aspect of the journalist who had put out the article, retweeted the article about the 2003 sexual assault thing with him, and doing it just like 2 hours after.
Wow.
So we had a whole conversation. There's a whole philosophical conversation about journalism and what constitutes good journalism. In my humble opinion, that was deplorable journalism. So we don't need to talk about that, but I just wanted to mention that whole thing. And it's something that you can look up. Her name is Felicia, and there's been so much by Felicia on social media because of that. I will. So let me bring this up. So we were wondering when MoviePass was finally going to die. Yeah, it's come.
Uh-oh.
So MoviePass on Tuesday, and the parent company officially filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, liquidation. The sum of all its parts are going to be divvied out. So they put up a good fight. And in my head, I'm hearing a very tiny violin and Galliant music playing as I'm saying this. They put up a really good fight. But you have to know when the jig is up. They didn't. They just kept going. It's like when, I called them on Mediascope on Wednesday. I called them the Fire Festival of the movie world, because with the Fire Festival, if you saw the documentary, you heard about it. Yeah, the man, you were thinking quickly. You knew you didn't have any money to put this on properly, yet you kept taking money from people and kept saying, "Oh, it's going to be great." But you were, it was a sinking ship. Even after you went to jail, you kept saying, "But that's the greatest thing since sliced bread." MoviePass is the Fire Festival of the movie world. You know, you could not, it is not, number one, it's not a sustainable model where you could, for $10 a month, it didn't start at $10, but they lowered it to $10 a month, where you could almost have any first run movie, I don't remember how many it was, but they lowered the number to 1 after a while. It is not a sustainable model. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. And so, but they kept, to signing up new people, taking new people, because they had hope and spirit. So I have to give it for you for that. But Tuesday, the Securities and Exchange Commission said, okay, if you don't want to pull the plug, we will. Bye. So they have filed for Chapter 7.
How long were they in business?
Movie Pass?
Yeah.
3, 4 years, maybe?
4 years.
I don't know, but I know this. When they came out, I saw every movie. I was in the theater. Just to, stay cool, because it was like 103 in Sacramento. Because it was unlimited.
Yeah, unlimited. So you could see as many. 2011. So it was really basically 9 years, less than 9
that's a
years.
long, yeah.
So, but something. By the way, hey, I just because I wasn't looking and I heard a male voice. I was like,
yeah, we had to add.
I had to put
more voices in.
I had to put a T-shirt on and then check to see. Yeah.
Thank you.
And check to see if the phone that's inside the rice thing there is going to come back on to life. Thank you, Terry. You freaked me out.
Wow. Well, we got the crew here. So so Movie Pass since 2011, and but here's what I blame them for. I don't blame you for being gully and having some spark and spunk, but what I do blame you for is being the Titanic and not seeing that it's going down and your head is just above water and you still don't think it's sinking. That's what I blame you for. So, and then this is the I always say this, that there are telltale signs of when things are starting to go down, when they well, now you can't see unlimited, now you can only see 1. This is the telltale sign. This is like when I
stopped them. I'm like, wait a minute.
That stops you in your tracks. We see these things. I think sometimes they don't think we're as consumer savvy as consumers, but we're extremely savvy. We pay attention because we don't like to overpay for things and we like to get the most value. When you've told me it's unlimited, idiots, you've told me it's unlimited, and now you're snatching it back. Fire Festival, okay? So we already know that's a Fire Festival-ish you're trying to pull with us. We already know that.
See, it makes it hard for the next one that's coming along to say, oh, unlimited this and that. We're like, we don't believe you. We don't
exactly. That may very well have a good business model in place that has sponsorship, that has something that's sustainable, but now we're a little #side-eye because we've seen this before.
Let me ask a question real quick. Now, that's an interesting example, but it seems that it's quite similar to Spotify, because Spotify was able to get all the musicians on board, and I don't know what sort of deal they did to make that model sustainable. But I had the chance the other day. I mean, like a year ago, I went to see this band. They're pretty much friends of mine, and they're on Spotify, and they were complaining that they don't make that much money on Spotify.
Right. It's because I think it has something to do with royalties. If Spotify doesn't sign royalties with them, the music basically belongs to the person who owns the rights to the music. Gotcha. That's my thoughts are, because I had the same experience with movie rights, where I used to work at Fox Studios for a while, and they were tracking where the movies are being sent. The movie owns those rights, so whoever owns the rights to the music, they can't make any royalties off.
Gotcha.
Right.
So basically through trickery and debauchery. So
which
this is a good tech rant here.
Thing in these industries.
Yeah.
I mean, when people were making 45, they figured out a way not to pay them. So, it's just an adaptation of the same
they're
thing.
Trying to get attention, the Fire Festival and this Movie Pass by saying unlimited. That's how they see in their minds. This is how we break out of the pack of everybody else. We're going to offer something that they know they can't sustain, so they're going to offer it anyway. And then, when things get bad, we're just going to pull it out. Go, okay, well, we sorry, whatever, but we got your money. No,
right.
Let me ask you this: they have $7 million still on the books. Who gets that money? because they owe 700 million.
Creditors get it first.
because they're liquidating everything, and
Yeah.
whoever you owe, they
Yeah.
get that money. You don't get anything.
What is
biggest
the
creditor.
liquidate? It's an app. What's the where are the
No,
assets?
but they had
What's the
if they had
liquidating? The
offices, if they had employees, whoever's
yeah.
first in line to say, okay, we put equity or we lent you money or whatever. Those people get their money first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe some investors might get 10
Right,
cents on a
investors
dollar.
get their money.
Exactly.
Yes.
And wherever their headquarters is, I can assure you they have not paid their electric bill yet. So that some of that is going
all of those
to the utilities.
It depends on the hierarchy of I've invested this much in your company.
Mhm.
I'm the one that gets my money first, and then who's at the bottom? The lowly
That's terrible.
subscriber.
But it's also
That is
terrible that they did
terrible.
not pay attention. Some of these things are very avoidable. And
Yeah.
I think that, even though it seems a very simple thing on a very simple level, ego will not allow people to admit when they are done, because people are so, everybody, they've drawn in so many people, they've got customers, and it's almost, I say, it's an embarrassing thing to say, you know what, we didn't survive. That's why when there are apps that are like, okay, so remember Busker, the live streaming app?
Yeah.
So they tried for a while, and I love Busker, but the thing that I like is they came out, they said, you know what, we can't do it anymore. We tried. I know a lot of you have been volunteering to do it because you love it.
Meerkat did that too. Meerkat came out and said, or Meerkat, or the app that was storing the videos, they came out and said,
it was Catch.
Yes. They said we can't do it. We know you love the product and everything, the service, but we can't keep doing it. Ran out of money.
So here are the tools to migrate all your content to YouTube or to your hard drive. Thank you and Godspeed.
What happened? I wonder what happened to Blab in that formula.
Blab told us to go to hell.
Yeah, and the other thing. Okay.
You open that can of worms.
In the long run, this is what happened.
Don't rip the Band-Aid off.
Because I'm still like, when I read that, I was like, don't you ever talk to me that way.
Talking. They turned the lights off on people while they were still talking, just like now.
I was like, how dare you? How very dare you? I was offended.
By the way, I think the form of Bleebo was bought out by Twitch. So
yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think I remember hearing that. The interesting thing in media and in tech, but particularly in media, these things are bought out so quickly that your head spins. Yeah. And this is why, with my students, they'll have sometimes the audacity to ask me if they could use the book from last semester. I'm like, first of all, we don't really need to be using a book in this class. And second, no, you can't.
You can't use books in class now? What was that?
No, I like using articles, up-to-date articles.
Yes,
I don't like using textbooks.
Right, it's current.
You can't really have an effective textbook, maybe a history that tracks the historical development of a lot of media technology and media. But as far as this is what's happening now, please, a textbook is.
That so many
Dr. Tashi, I would audit I would come all the way to Miami to audit your course.
You should. You know what? It's too bad you didn't know me when I was teaching at Nova Southeastern.
I know.
Okay, guys, we gotta wrap it up. We are
Nazim. Hey, Nazim, let's go on our own live show and we'll just start our own ranting, okay, Nazim?
We gotta go. We've been talking since 11, so.
But you guys are awesome. I love you guys being on here.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invite.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for the invite.
Of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We just want to say we appreciate you. We thank you for hanging in here with us. Mark, I saw your comments. He says he's melting down the owners on pay-per-view.
And Carlos just showed up. Hi, Carlos.
Carlos, we love you.
Yes, we do. Carlos, we would have you in the square. We would have 6 squares if we weren't leaving.
Oh,
We can still
how
get him
about
in if
that?
you want. Yeah, get him in before we leave.
We gotta go.
Just get 6
We gotta go.
People got
Oh, you gotta go. Oh, yeah, people.
Yeah,
got-
we
We
have
want to remind everybody that if you're in the Sacramento area, that First Mondays is coming up. We hope to see you there at Seasons 52 Restaurant in the Arden Fair Mall, 6 p.m. Come out, meet the Biz Chicks and some wonderful
Oh man,
speakers and businesswomen and gentlemen will be there at 6 p.m. Monday. Sorry you can't make it, Nazim. I know it's a little far.
I gotta check the flight schedules here. Maybe I can make it in time.
Wow, you can do it.
Literally.
start live streaming it and hey, everybody, you gotta, you join the live stream.
Tune in. Yes.
Yes.
So with that, if there's nothing else on anybody's minds, I know we got a lot on our hearts.
Love the statement. We gotta go.
We gotta
All right,
go.
everybody.
The lights are gonna get shut down now.
Yep. Don't forget to go to the front of your own line. We love you. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.